प्रणाम। आप देखने लगे हैं द गोलगप्पे चैनल। प्लीज सब्सक्राइब अस ऑन यूट्यूब एंड इंस्टाग्राम। यूट्यूब पे है गोल गप्पे GOLGUPPEN और इंस्टाग्राम पे है गोल डॉट गप्पे। तो देखिए, आज मैं ग्रीन ग्रीन टी शर्ट पहना हूँ और ग्रीन टी शर्ट से याद आया कि आजकल जो बहुत हॉट विषय है वो है ग्रीनलैंड। और ग्रीनलैंड को आज के डेट में किसका एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन चलता है? तो डेनमार्क एक छोटा सा स्कैंडिनेवियन कंट्री है। सो डेनमार्क टेक्स केयर ऑफ ग्रीनलैंड। ग्रीनलैंड इज़ अ वेरी इम्पॉर्टेंट आइलैंड। बहुत बड़ा है मास में। आप देखेंगे तो इनफैक्ट मैप में तो वो लगता है कि अमेरिका के बराबर है साइज में, बट एग्जैक्टली मुझे नहीं पता। आप देख सकते हैं कितना स्क्वायर फीट है या स्क्वायर किलोमीटर्स है, आई मीन सॉरी। बट जितने भी सिविलियन फ्लाइट्स जो अटलांटिक में एंटर करती है अमेरिका और कनाडा के लिए, कमिंग फ्रॉम द एशिया, दे ऑल क्रॉस ओवर द ग्रीनलैंड। तो जो भी कंट्री इसका आधिपत्य लेगा, विच एवर कंट्री ओन्स ग्रीनलैंड, उसको जो रेवेन्यू आएगा फ्रॉम एयर सिविलियन एयर ट्रैवल विल बी फिनोमिनल, क्योंकि बहुत प्लेन के ऊपर से क्रॉस करती है। So the topic for today which I have kept is Denmark and NATO, नॉर्थ अमेरिका अटलांटिक ट्रीटी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो भी इनका है। डेनमार्क एंड नेटो में मोस्टली यूरोपियन है, led by America. They have warned America that if Donald Trump tries to forcefully take Greenland, there will be serious consequence. The consequence could end up into a war with NATO. So NATO and America will come face to face for a war if America tries to take away Greenland, says Denmark head of the state. You see the picture which I'm showing there, that lady. So it will be interesting situation. Remember, sometime back when the NATO का जो head है, official position given to one guy called Mark Rutte. Mark Rutte had the audacity 3 months back to warn India. He went and met Donald Trump, and Donald Trump asked him to just give a statement. So he warned India of the consequences of buying the Russian oil. See, karma pays back. It was not America that was warning at that time. It was Mr. Rutte, the head of the NATO. Today, not sure where is this guy hiding. Okay. Did he compromise with Donald Trump and America? That has to be seen, because he had met him 3 months back. He was not able to put a proper plan with USA. USA being the only superpower in today's world. So चलिए, what I have done here is I have brought few videos from the public domain for you to listen what people are thinking, what the news around, and then I'll give you a little bit background of the entire Denmark and Greenland for a lot of people who are not aware of this. Right now, people were just Googling Ukraine and Russia, and now suddenly Donald Trump has helped improve the geopolitical knowledge or the quotient of the entire world by throwing so many countries not known that much into the mainstream geopolitical discussion. Chaliye, let's see that. So I'll go to let me see, where is that video? Okay, so I'm sharing this. Head to the stage, and I'll have you listen to this.
Only around 56,000 people. So fixated with Greenland, and why are people worried that that fixation might see the dismantling of NATO? Greenland is the largest non-continental island in the world, but it's home to only around 56,000 people, most of them the indigenous Inuit population. The local economy is reliant on fishing. It's a semi-autonomous territory of Denmark. So why is it in the eyesight of one of the most powerful men in the world? The short answer is military strategy and, of course, money. It's also home to one of the most strategic US bases. The Bodefique space base is critically important to the US because of its positioning just 1,000 miles from the North Pole. It allows unparalleled missile warning and also space surveillance capabilities. This is because of the understanding that if Russia were to fire an intercontinental ballistic missile at the US, it would probably use the polar regions. Greenland is fast becoming the centre of a superpower contest over the Arctic. But it's not just the military significance of Greenland that has got Donald Trump interested. It's also wealth. Greenland has vast untapped deposits of rare earth minerals that are really important for making things like smartphones, electric vehicles, and even military weapons. That market right now is dominated by China, where nearly 60% of rare earth minerals are mined. Donald Trump obviously would like to change that with Greenland. But with this increasingly hostile language, he's putting himself directly against NATO partner Denmark and also his natural allies in Europe. European leaders, including our own, have issued increasingly strong statements warding Donald Trump off from a takeover of Greenland. That's become increasingly concerning with unilateral action taken in places like Venezuela. He's previously spoken about buying Greenland, and now he's talking about having it. The US argues that as the most powerful member of NATO, they should have control over this massive strategic asset. The question is, what would be the impact of that?
What will be the impact of that? That's what she's saying. And unfortunately, this is going to be really, really bad in that situation. There are some more videos, guys. I would like to share with you. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, this one, I think. Let me check if this one. This video I am sharing. Just give me 1 second, guys. This is a very interesting video. Not this one. Okay. Add to the stage. I'm not sure why this is always coming. Okay. Just 1 second, guys. A very interesting video. You need to see this. Okay. So I'm back with this. So if you see what President Trump is saying, President Trump has ramped up the effort to acquire Greenland from Denmark, proposing up to 100K, 100,000, or in 1 lakh dollar. And if you try to convert into a Indian currency, it comes to 90 lakh Indian rupees per resident. So there are around 57,000 residents only in Greenland. Payout and keeping all the options on the table amid Arctic security worries over Russia and China. So this is what President is saying. The poll reveals that 85% of the Greenland opposes joining US, which is and one very funny video is also circulating. I'll show you that as well. Yeah, this video, guys. You need to see. You need to see this video. Or that. Yeah, this video is saying that it's on a lighter note. The simple diplomatic solution is Baron Trump, the youngest son of Donald Trump and as his third wife, Melania. He marries Princess Isabella of Denmark, and Greenland is given to America as the dowry payment. See, this is coming from Miss White. And the dowry, remember dowry practices in India, human rights, social rights, all those things. Now, dowry is part of the Western lingo. It's basically a practiced ritual. The duplicacy, you can see that. Anyway, it's not the time to number one bulk supplier, national bulk supplier. Some of the Greenland people.
Donald Trump. Fight Greenland.
Fight Finland.
Fight Greenland. Fight Greenland.
No more Danish.
No more Danish. We don't like Danish people.
I'm here in Greenland. This kid's got a MAGA hat on. What's your message to Donald Trump?
Fight Greenland.
Fight Finland.
Fight Greenland. Fight Greenland.
No more Danish.
No more Danish. We don't like Danish people.
Okay, and these were all Asian Chinese people, I think. Okay, Denmark Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen has announced a ruthless deportation policy aimed at Muslims. Okay, so she's also fighting on the other end, where she's facing immigration issues. Europe appears far more enthusiastic about fighting USA over Greenland than fighting Russia over Ukraine, says Joshua Dunn, which is very interesting, right? So Denmark ready to shoot first in case Greenland is invaded. Wow. Greenland is considering meeting with the US without Denmark, signaling effort to bypass Denmark. This is another interesting thing. So money power. Okay. What else? Okay, we'll hear Mr. The gentleman.
Not by force, not by military. It has rare earth minerals, and it is strategically placed in such a place that it is essential for us. If you are preparing for war, he is preparing us for a couple of things. A digital war, where we are fighting who's going to win AI. A currency war, whose currency is going to be dominant. Who's going to actually be responsible for the financial well-being of at least the Western world. And I think a hot war.
So guys, everybody is coming out with their own. Yeah, no music because the YouTube will stop it, so I will not say that. Okay, let's hear this one.
Denmark, we have spilt more blood. The United States of America has spilt more blood protecting Greenland than the Danes have. We have a greater vested interest in Greenland than, geographically speaking, than the Denmark, the Danes have. And so when you look at the Monroe Doctrine, when you look at the Western Hemisphere, we are the dominant predator, quite frankly, force in the Western Hemisphere. You know, they've been in participation or relationship with Denmark. That needs to end. Denmark, we have spilled.
So, predator is the word I heard. Let's hear one more.
We have a dialogue with the US government without Denmark, because Denmark is antagonizing both Greenland and the US with their mediation, or what they, in the best intention probably, is trying to derail any talks about independence. I've said it for a year now. They should butt out our Greenlandic affairs, because they're escalating the situation. They keep claiming that Greenland belongs to the Greenlandic people when everybody else is listening. And the next moment you hear them talking about the integrity of their territory, the kingdom's territorial integrity.
So you heard it, right? Things are not changing. For the world is getting into a very, very bad situation. So let me give you some history of this Denmark and Greenland. How Greenland became part of Denmark. I'll give you very brief. Inuit settlement C2500 BC to 986 CE. The indigenous people Inuit, also known as Kalalit, inhabited Greenland for millennia years, right? So these were the actual people, the aborigines or the original Adivasis. No state sovereignty in modern sense. Okay. Then Norse settlement and Norwegian control, 986 to 1380. So there was a huge gap. It was inhabited by the Adivasis or the Aborigines, all those people, and then the what was the name I said? Kalalit. And then comes the Norse settlement, Norwegian control. So in 1986, Eric the Red established Norse colonies. Okay, here come the colonial masters. Greenland became part of the Kingdom of Norway. Okay, and Norway is a country that gives you Nobel Prize, takes ethical and moral steps in deciding about it. Okay, the Greenland became part of the Kingdom of Norway, linked ecclesiastically and politically to Norway. Now, Denmark Norway Union in 1380 to 1814, that 500 years. In 1380, Denmark and Norway united under one crown. I beg your pardon. Denmark and Norway united under one crown, so they had a kingship, because all the colonial countries, they had kings. Greenland as Norwegian possession came under Danish rule indirectly. Administration handled from Copenhagen. Okay, then in comes the Treaty of Kiel, 1814 May, Treaty of Kiel. So legal turning point. Denmark lost Norway to Sweden. Okay, Denmark retained Greenland, Iceland, and the Faroe Islands, but it lost Norway to Sweden. This is the key legal basis of Danish sovereignty today. International context, now let's go to that. European powers accepted this arrangement. Okay, only Europe. There was no United Nations, there was no China, there was no Russia, there was no India, there was no the global South. It was purely the European decisions. So in today's context, it was totally agreement of the Europeans. Where should all the rest of the countries, minus America, place from taking stand? It is interesting dynamics, I think. Position of the major powers at the time. USA not involved. Okay. Russia, no objection. China at that time had the Qing dynasty, and India was under the British rule. So no independent foreign policies. We were all, they were all like, watching it. Danish colonization and administration, 1814 to 1940. Right now, 1940 में जब वर्ल्ड वॉर होना शुरू हो गया था 1 and 2. Denmark exercised continuous control, trade monopoly, missionary activity. Okay, missionary activity, underline that. Greenland treated as a colony. International reaction. USA recognized Denmark's sovereignty. There was no dispute at that time. Russia focused purely on Siberia and Alaska, sold Alaska in 1867 to USA. So Russia sold Alaska to USA in 1867. India, China at that time were not power. They had no position. I mean, they might have had position, but they were ruled by the British. Permanent Court of International Justice, 1933. Norway challenged Denmark claim to Eastern Greenland. Now things started. Remember, Norway was lost. Norway was part of Denmark and it was lost to Sweden. But then Norway challenged Denmark claim to eastern Greenland in 1933. The court ruled in favor of Denmark. Okay, number 7 I wanted to discuss was World War II and U.S. presence 1940 to 1945. Denmark was occupied by Nazi Germany. Okay, Nazi Germany. USA took responsibility for Greenland's defense. 1940 to 45, USA took the responsibility to protect the Greenland, built military bases. Crucially, the USA explicitly recognized Danish sovereignty despite occupation. Even though USA had built its military base, it accepted Danish sovereignty at that time. Okay. Greenland integrated into Denmark 1953. So it's not like, from time memorial. Greenland ceased to be a colony, became integral part of the United Kingdom of Denmark, approved by the United Nations processes. And again, that United Nation didn't have India and the global south. So it was partial. International reaction: US accepted this, USSR accepted this, India, independent since 1947, accepted it at that time. Home rule 1979 and self-government in 2009. Increased autonomy for Greenland. Denmark retains defense, foreign affairs, and currency. Modern position: USA recognizes Danish sovereignty, strategic interest, Russia accepts status quo. So the key takeaways from Greenland becoming part of Denmark, though, will be Norwegian inheritance, Treaty of Kiel in 1814, international legal confirmation 1933, and UN accepted integration 1953. Now, the very security reason which Donald Trump is mentioning is primarily related to China. And you saw a lot of Chinese people also staying in Greenland. Now they're citizens. So China interest in Greenland today is strategic, economic, and scientific. It fits the Chinese broader Arctic and global power strategy. Let's break it. Arctic access and global shipping, why it matters. Climate change is opening Arctic sea routes. And even in India is also working with, I think, with Denmark for building this route. This route can cut Asia and Europe shipping time by 30 to 40%. And this will be a huge advantage in future. China's goal. China calls itself a near Arctic state since 2018, wants long-term access, northern sea route, future transpolar routes. So why Greenland? Greenland sits between the North Atlantic and Arctic Ocean. So it's so important position. And I know that India is working on this project as well. Ideal location for logistic hubs, emergency ports, and monitoring shipping lanes. China does not claim sovereignty, it seeks influence and access. Well, critical minerals and rare earths. What Greenland has is a large deposit of rare earth element, uranium, zinc, iron ore, and rare earth element REEs. Why China cares? China already dominates the REE processing, securing foreign sources, reducing reliance on unstable region, give leverage in global supply. Chinese first attempted investment in Wani Jeffield Cunard Sweet rare earth project. I mean, it's a typical, I think it's a Danish name or the Chinese name of project faced opposition from Greenlandic and Danish authorities. So already Chinese were trying to barge in, but they were pushed back. Scientific research and climate data. China's activities: Arctic Research Station, Polar Ice, climate and satellite research. Greenland ice sheet is critical. Sea level rise data, climate modeling, Arctic environmental science. Scientific presence also builds soft power and logistic familiarities, right? Then comes the infrastructure and dual use concern. What China proposed bids to build on finance, airports, telecommunication. Why Denmark and USA objected. Infrastructure could have dual use, civilian and military potential, like surveillance and strategic leverage. Belt and Road Initiative, Arctic dimension. So China is like obsessed with this Belt and Road Initiative, BRI as it's called, Polar Silk Road, Arctic extension of BRI. Greenland potential node linking. It links Europe, North American Arctic route, where China's major economy is based. Geopolitical competition with USA, US presence. Thule Pitufif space base is crucial for missile warning and space surveillance. China calculation. Greenland is rare place where US military interests, European sovereignty, and Arctic resource all intersect, but no more. Because America thinks that to fix the economy, the de-dollarization and the global reset, which is going to happen, and with $39 trillion debts, the only way USA could come out and retain its superpower status, it has to do something. It has to do something disruptive, and this disruption is what Donald Trump office has decided for the world. So a lot of whenever a status quo is disturbed, there will be a lot of movement, right? uh, so that's what is exactly happening. So you see, it's going to be a very tough time for the world, I guess. But let's see some more videos before not this one, yeah.
Which means they just reduced us to lines on a map instead of
The United States quietly tried to buy Greenland from Denmark, offering $100 million in gold, which would equal well over $6 billion today, but the Danish crown refused. Behind closed doors, Truman's advisors said Greenland was essential to defending North America as the Cold War was beginning, because its position between the United States and the Soviet Union made it the perfect place for radar systems, bases, and early warning networks. The talks felt less like diplomacy and more like a high-stakes real estate deal with maps, appraisals, and strategy memos laid out across the table. Denmark said no, but the United States still secured major military access and built Thule Air Base, which is still active today. And here's the twist that shocks people. That icy island the United States tried to buy looks enormous on the map, but that is mostly distortion. When you scale it correctly, the entire United States is actually more than 4 times larger than Greenland.
We need it for we need Greenland for national security. Not for minerals. We have so many sites for minerals and oil and everything. We have more oil than any other country in the world. We need Greenland for national security. And if you take a look at Greenland, you look up and down the coast, you have Russian and Chinese ships all over the place. We need it for national security. We have to have it. And he wanted to lead the charge, so we're making him, Marco today, a special envoy to Greenland. Greenland, he felt very strongly, we need it for nationals, we need Greenland. We need Greenland from a national security situation. It's so strategic. Right now, Greenland is covered with Russian and Chinese ships all over the place. We need Greenland from the standpoint.
and passed a law allowing the immigration, specifically of 321 refugees from Palestine. And the study followed them from 1992 to 2019. Out of the original 321 Palestinians, 204 ended up being convicted of a crime. 71 of them were jailed, and 176 ended up on welfare. So that accounts for 63% became criminals and were convicted, and more than half ended up on welfare. So they followed the second.
So, as you see, this liberal values and Europe failed immigration policy is another reason for Europe not becoming competitive and depending too much on NATO, on USA. And USA, on its part, definitely needs to look inside and be more strong rather than just being generous and putting its taxpayer money for the NATO security. So all those things has to be seen in perspective. This channel is not taking any stand. Definitely being so this channel would like both side of views to be listened, seen, evaluated, and users, you can make your own decision. But as of now, Denmark will have a tough time protecting Greenland when America is in a really, really unstoppable mood after testing the blood in Venezuela, and China, Russia, and NATO all are watching silently. One of the Trojan horse for NATO would be UK. UK will pretend and do everything to show that they have the European pride on their sleeve, but eventually UK will have all kinds of deal with the United States, and Denmark will be left on the negotiation table all alone, facing the mighty might of Donald Trump and America. From American Indian perspective, I think it's good for America because American security is paramount here, to all of us here. And if Denmark was not able to develop Greenland and all those immigration challenges and everything we saw, rather than it becoming another London, it's better that Donald Trump steps in and controls that spiral downward trend which Europe is going to face. So you have to see everything from that context. Okay, so keep on watching Golgappe and do subscribe. The next will be a very detailed program on Iran. We'll see what happens in next 2 days, whether we'll have a new regime or not. But million people, 10 lakh people are on the road, mainly students. They're tired of the radical governance. And Persia, which was pride of the entire region and the world with a very rich history, has really, really become very unprogressive, a lot of atrocities on the women, and hence one day this was supposed to happen. So wherever there is a subversion, wherever you stop the freedom, people's will, there will be a challenge, there will be a protest, and Iran will have to undergo the regime change and maybe even the religion of faith, because the data shows that 60 to 70% of the mosques in Iran are empty. People are not even going to mosques for praying. Why is that? We'll do more research and try to come out with the right story. Thank you.